Hi, Tarot Lovebots. Today I want to talk to you about some of the things that I believe makes for an excellent tarot reader. So these are my views, and I'm sure I have not thought of everything either. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This can be true for oracle card readers, angel card readers, and energy workers of all kinds, as we often vibe on the same frequency anyway. So before I jump into the things I believe it takes to be an amazing tarot reader, here are some things that I just want to knock straight off of what you don't need. And this list could just be as long, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you don't need to be a witch to be a tarot reader. You don't need to be psychic to be a tarot reader. And you don't need a certification from a particular place to be a tarot reader. You just don't need it. So if you hear any of that sort of stuff, it's all phooey. Well, in my not so humble opinion, it's all phooey. I've got lots of readings and lots of videos to do today, so I am caffeined up, my friends. All right, so the first thing that I believe this is probably one of the most important things for being excellent in any job or anything really that you do, because I believe a life without this is a life that is not worth living, and that's passion. So a genuine passion for what you do with the precious time you have in life, whether it's your job, a hobby, or a general interest, is a wonderful start. Passion is not measurable, and passions can change. However, if you have a passion for the tarot, chances are it's always going to be there, and it'll always be there on some level, whether it's an active passion or something that you'll always really be attracted to. Passion encompasses an emotional connection and general enthusiasm. If you look at a tarot deck, or if you look at the tarot and have a desire to want to know more, then you're on the right track. The second thing I believe it takes to be an excellent tarot reader is a thirst for knowledge. I am a total bibliophile. I love to read and I love to write. I want to learn about everything, and that is something that I feel makes for a wonderful tarot reader. Maybe you don't want to learn about everything, but at least having that inquisitive nature that wants to learn more. Curiosity means that we're going to look beyond what we see on the surface. You know, it's a little bit of critical thinking, a little bit of curiosity. Those things kind of go very well together. We're going to ask questions and look at things differently. Beyond this personal thirst for knowledge, a constant desire to learn about the tarot and your understanding of the tarot are excellent, as the tarot itself is always evolving. So is your understanding of the individual tarot cards. As things change, your perception changes. This can be through personal experience, which is related to one of the cards, or through reading other people's interpretations or artist representations of the tarot's archetypes. So this is like a whole encompassing way in which we grow with the tarot, and why we vibe to certain decks at a certain time, or why we like certain systems at different times in our life. It's because we are constantly changing, and so is the tarot. I would also like to add that a deep desire to know yourself is just as important. The tarot is a reflection of human and spiritual growth. The more we learn about ourselves, the more we can go deeper within our knowledge of the tarot. If you want to read the guidebook that comes with your deck, do it. If you want to write notes all over the book and keep it on hand as your little tarot grimoire, then do it. If you don't ever want to look at it, then don't do it. Don't read it. Read the book, and putting it aside is a common practice for the decks, for the little white books or the guidebooks that you do get. I hear that often. And it's something that even my teacher recommended to me. And some teachers, like at the Tarot Summer School, have said that they've taken their students' books off them and given it back to them at the end of their classes, because they wanted them to naturally connect. So give your knowledge a good base sometimes, then allow your knowledge to allow your intuition to take charge is a good way of doing it, or just let your intuition take take lead and go forth. So do whatever works for you. That's like my motto in life is just do whatever the heck you want as long as you're not hurting anybody. And don't be an asshole. Okay, so my third thing for being an excellent tarot reader. Oh, you can tell I don't edit these because sometimes I get a little tongue-tied and I'm just like, whatever. You need at least one tarot deck that you vibe with. So I've said it many times before, you do not need a monster collection of decks to be an excellent tarot reader, nor do you need only one deck either. I've recently heard that some people state that you should only use one deck ever, forever, that's it. If that works for them, that's cool. But if that doesn't work for you, again, I believe there's no hardline rule for everyone. As long as you have at least one deck that you connect to and vibe with, then you have the only tool you'll ever really need to excel in this field. Yes, folks, you heard it here. I think I've said this before. It shouldn't be new unless this is the first video of mine you're watching. If you're looking to buy your very first deck, I have a guide for you, which I'll click, which will be in the blog post over at ethany.com. If you have a new tarot deck you want to learn to connect with, I have 8 amazing ways you can vibe with the new deck. Again, that link will be over at ethany.com and below. So beyond what anyone else thinks of your choice of tarot decks or your choice of the way that you work with it, who cares? It's your choice. It's your path, it's your practice. Do what works for you. My fourth thing that I would like to add for what it takes to be an excellent tarot reader is a desire to help others. I guess you can really boil this down to the question of motivation for becoming a tarot reader in the first place. If your reasons for becoming a reader is to make it rich, then I highly suggest you pick another profession, because I don't know many, if any, people who have, become millionaires from being a tarot reader. There could be people out there, and there are probably easy ways to make money, but there you go. You could try. I put a desire to help others on this list, as this is what I wanted to do with my tarot practice and business. From the clients that I have the pleasure to connecting with, which is a first a first connection or a first link, a one-on-one link to what I do with my money in the real world. So I talk a lot about being a good custodian for money, and this is true for what you do with your money in the real world. Do you buy organic produce? Do you support small local businesses? Do you reinvest it with people, who also do good things with their money? So that's money talks in our economy. Do you buy things with palm oil in it? So it's just, although this probably has palm oil in it, I'm going to research it. And if it does, I'm never buying one again. So that's what I'm talking about with not just the one-on-one connection that I have for helping others. It's then the ripple effect. Do you donate? Do you do all sorts of things? So I'm not going to preach on that, but there's more than just that. I want to help people be a healer. It goes a lot larger than that in your community. Most of us in this field genuinely want to help others. I would even go as far to say that most people want to help each other. I can believe that humans are inherently good, can't I? That's not a foolish thing to think. Using that desire to help others with a transformational tool like the tarot is pretty amazing. I'm not saying that we all have to be healers and spiritual as fuck to be amazing. You could be all about dropping truth bombs and walking away with little care for what happens in the aftermath. However, I have not met too many tarot readers who are like that, who last. If the corporate and political world have taught us anything, you can be a total prick and be good at your job too. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Okay. My next thing, my fifth thing, is authenticity. If you're really authentic, you will be more successful with the tarot. You will have your own style of reading, and you should embrace that. Don't try to be someone else. Don't jump on the latest bandwagon because it's trending. Don't try to copy someone else's style, web copy, ideas and services. I mean, a lot of tarot readers will offer like one question readings or love readings of some sort. So I'm not saying you can't have those because nearly every one of us has those, but it should be aligned and delivered in a way that is authentically you. I'm silly, loud, a total geek. I swear, I sing, I get super excited about new tarot decks or the new Wonder Woman trailer. Lord, please let that be good, for fuck's sake. But that's me. If people visiting my site or watching my videos don't like it, they will book with another reader, and that is perfectly okay. There is enough for all of us to be authentically ourselves in any business. My sixth thing for what it takes to be an excellent tarot reader is practice. Practice makes progress. Practice makes princesses, y'all. Reading the tarot is like any skill or muscle. You don't use it, you lose it. If you don't have anyone to read, offer free readings for testimonials via your favorite social media avenue. Best way to get started ever. I did that for a very long time. Or read for your fictional characters in your favorite book or your stuffed bear. You know, throw some cards for Harry Potter. You may as well. Offer to do free readings at an event, especially charity events. Like I've done charity events for cancer survivors. I've done them for openings of different, I've done launch parties, I've done Christmas parties, like farmers markets. There are tons of ways that you can get out and do things that don't cost you a lot of money. Practice one card draws, combinations, new tarot spreads, no tarot spreads, just flick those cards out however you like them. Reversals, not using reversals. Major arcana only readings, court card only readings. Go on, I freaking dare you. And someone show me that business if you do, because would so love to see it. It can all help and it can be wildly freaking fun. Just allow it to be. Don't like take it too seriously when you're practicing, because you need to also really enjoy what you're doing. This goes on a deeper level when you start to get a good understanding of the kind of tarot reader you want to be. If you're a more intuitive person and you want to be an intuitive reader and kind of forget what is written about the Thoth or the Crowley or the Marseille, practice your intuition skills. There's a lot of information out there about how you can do this. If you want to be a healer and more of a tarot counselor, get some counseling skills and qualifications. Become a professional in that field. Not only will this help you with your business, it'll help you just grow as a person. These are all ways to strengthen your tarot muscles and grow. As I mentioned, as a practitioner and a person. I kind of liken this to when I'm talking to people who are walking the path of the witch, right? So many of you know we just had the first Inner Circle start for the Awakened Soul Coven. And I talk a lot about how the first year and a day, and if you decide to become initiated and you start doing your first degree, there's like so much information that comes in that the big part of it is just to, learn and practice and connect and show up. But then when you start getting in a level, say you want to take your second degree, that's when you start becoming more specified. That's when you start to know what your areas of interest and natural alignments are. Same thing with the tarot. Read lots, do lots of different things, but when you start to connect with what you really want to do, when you start to deepen that, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Don't over question yourself. I think I've said enough on that. Moving on. I need that little wind up music like the Academy Awards. Like, you're dribbling shit now. Get off stage. My next point is to listen and be open. We don't know everything, nor should we. Really listening is a wonderful tool for a tarot reader. Listen to your clients. Sometimes while listening to a client, my spirit guides have already started to show me and tell me things. But I will very, very, very rarely interrupt a client when they are being vulnerable and sharing with me. I mean, if that client's been talking for 45 minutes, I'm going to cut in. But I don't just go and start. Sometimes people want to go to a reader because they need the space. People usually don't book with a tarot reader for no reason. Be there for them. be present, be all about them. Be like you would be on a first date with a person of your dreams. Turn off the phone, get rid of the distractions, and show up. Openness is also multi-layered. Be open to what other people believe, experience, and view as valuable. We don't all view the same things as valuable. And this is important when you're a tarot reader. Sure as the sun is going to rise tomorrow, you're going to come across a client who has some point of views that you think are completely crazy. You can still be respectful, unless they're a skinhead, in case wrap that up and say bye-bye. But you can still at least sit in the space for them to express and be open. Be open to the tarot possibly showing you something new about a specific card or situation that you may not have seen or even agree with. To give you an example, I had a reading recently with a client who was telling me about an ex they wanted to get back with. Now, if this was my friend and I was just giving some real world advice, I probably would have said something along the lines of look forward, not backwards, and move on. It's, you broke it for a reason, etc., etc., etc. However, the tarot showed just the opposite. And I had to put what I thought, another aspect of being a great reader, aside and deliver the message for my client as the tarot and my guides were saying. I had to tell my ego to calm its farm and be a good professional. Openness to the ways of thinking, feeling, and being are pretty great qualities anyway. Okay, so the 8th thing I believe it takes to be an excellent tarot reader is communication skills. Now, I'm not talking you need to be able to stand in front of hundreds of people and deliver a rousing speech that would make most people go off to war. But we are all connectors and communicators. That is at the heart of what we do. If you find that you struggle with your communication, then there are so many resources that you can access. Most are for free or for very little. Join a local Toastmasters group, practice speaking to your readings out loud. That will help you get more confident with delivering the messages of the tarot. Even if, like I said before, you're reading for Sir Fluff-A-Lot, your stuffed dog. Not like your real dog that you stuff, but like your stuffed pup, toy. Talk to Sir Fluff-A-Lot like he was actually your client. That actually really does help. Some of us are a little bit nervous when it comes to hearing our own voice. So get used to it. Get some feedback from a friend or a trusted mentor about your style. As I said before about being authentic, you don't have to change who you are. You can choose email readings if you don't like to talk. But even those who write their readings need to communicate, as that is a form of communication. So working on your written or your verbal, it's always good to skill up in those areas. Number 9 for what I believe it takes to be an excellent tarot reader is a good mentor. So this is really an optional thing for sure, but I have found over my many years of being a student of the tarot and then a professional tarot reader that having someone to talk to in confidence has been invaluable. It has helped me grow and I don't feel so isolated. So you can trust your gut. Well, I would say please do trust your gut when you're choosing someone to work with on that level. But it has been one of the most invaluable things I've ever had moving forward and moving from someone who reads for themselves or reads for friends to being a professional. Has this ever happened to you? Conversations come up quite a lot. Or I just had this and what do I do? Or just even having a sounding board for problem solving has been incredibly important. A lot of tarot readers work from home or work for themselves. It's not like we all get to go to tarot headquarters and wouldn't that be amazing? And work there all day together. So connecting with someone that you can trust and that you click with is just so great as far as I'm concerned. And the last one, number 10, a rebellious heart. Fuck the rules, fuck the books, fuck haters, fuck people who say there's only one way to do things. If you're a tarot nerd, lover, collector, reader, or student, chances are you're a little rebellious at heart. So I say embrace it. So kittens, that's my list to what I believe makes an excellent tarot reader. Did I miss anything? Let me know. What do you think it takes to be a kick-ass reader? I would love to hear from you in the comments below or over on anthony.com. And thank you so much for joining me.